Okay, is everybody ready? First of all, let me thank y'all for coming to this morning. I know that safety is a major concern for residents in East Baton Rouge Parish. Our agents estimate that over 80% or more of violent crime in our parish is committed by street-level gang members and drug dealers. Drugs and gangs often go hand in hand. Many gangs use profits from drug sales to further their illegal activities. Many shootings, armed robberies, burglaries, and weapons cases can be traced back to gangs. So what is a gang? The U.S. Department of Justice defines a street gang as a group of 3 or more individuals who share a common name or identifying sign or symbol, whose primary purpose is to commit illegal activities, and who individually and collectively engage in a pattern of criminal behavior. Louisiana Revised Statute also defines criminal street gangs to mean any ongoing organization, association, or group of 3 or more persons, whether formal or informal, which has one of its primary activities the commission of one or more criminal acts, or which has a common name or identifying sign or symbol, whose members individually or collectively engage in a pattern of criminal gang activity. Whether you want to call it a group, a faction, or a gang is really irrelevant when we are talking about violence and criminals. No, and I'm going to say this now, we don't have the same nationally affiliated gangs that are highly organized. Just as there is a difference between street-level drug dealers and organized cartel, there is a difference in types of gangs. But at the end of the day, a drug dealer is a drug dealer. Fentanyl sold on the street, a dealer is just as deadly as a fentanyl sold by the large-scale trafficker. Gangs, whether street-level or highly organized, cause violence. The bullet fired by a street gang is just as deadly as one fired by an upper-level gang. In many ways, these street-level gangs can be more dangerous due to their disorganization. This leads not only to them being caught, but oftentimes to innocent bystanders getting hurt in the midst of their rivalry. Studies show gang members at all levels have greater access to firearms, are more likely to be involved in violent crimes, and have a higher propensity to use drugs. The Department of Justice said the presence of street gangs and drugs is directly related to increased school crime and victimization of students. The FBI currently recognizes 33,000 violent gangs operating inside the United States. A 2013 local study identified at least 30 street gangs and more than 500 members in the Baton Rouge area. According to the same study, 43% of the murders between September 2010 and October 2012 were gang-related. An additional 12% of the murders were found to likely be gang member involved. As I stated earlier, our detectives currently estimate that local gangs and illicit drug dealers are responsible for 80% or more of violent crime in our parish. And I want to be clear, I do not believe Baton Rouge Parish is unique in that we have street-level gangs. These types of gangs are found in other cities our size. What I am saying is that there is a small percentage of individuals most affiliated with these groups, which are committing the majority of our violent crime. Therefore, it is imperative that we identify and go after the individuals or groups in order to ensure the safety of our community. To that end, I am forming the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Gang Intelligence and Enforcement Unit, which from here on will also be known as GIE. This is a multi-division, full-time unit that will proactively investigate street and upper-level drug dealers, gang members, and others involved in violent crime in East Baton Rouge Parish. The GIE unit is made up of the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office Narcotics Division, our SCAT, which is Special Community Anti-Crime Team, and Gang Intelligence Division. GIE will assist all divisions at the Sheriff's Office as well as offer support to other agencies. It will assist homicide and gang-related homicides and shootings. Coordinate with School Drug Task Force for any possible school-related gang activity. Share information with the Special Operations Intelligence Division related to Homeland Security and large-scale event monitoring. Disseminate information through the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office Investigative Support Unit, the ISU. Work with the parish prison when possible gang members are incarcerated, and coordinate with the district attorney in the prosecution of gang members. This unit is an extension of our narcotics division, who successfully investigative techniques that in the last year have resulted in the seizure of almost 90,000 lethal doses of fentanyl, nearly 300 firearms seized, more than $1 million in currency seized, and 137 felony arrests. I recognize the success of these investigative methods. I placed our SCAT division under the umbrella of narcotics as a result. Our SCAT division accomplished a more than 100% increase in seizure of fentanyl and drug money used to further criminal activity in a 3-month period compared to all of 2023. Utilizing this unit, we intend to have real results to show the community in the coming weeks. I want to thank District Attorney Hill Moore for being here and for his office's continued aggressive prosecution of these gang-related cases. I want to thank Captain Tanner Jenkins, the narcotics and SCAT divisions, for their dedication and for the work that they have done and will continue to do. I want to thank the community for their continued support and assistance in identifying these groups and individuals. And once again, I want to thank all of you for being here. And at this time, Hiller, if you would like to say anything.
First of all, I just wanted to, on a personal note, let you guys know that I'd rather be, I'd rather be here with these guys, which really represents the Thin Blue Line and others that are not here on camera. These are the guys that go to work each and every day, put their lives on the line. I know them personally. I see the work that they do. I'm impressed with the work they do, and I'm honored to be here amongst them, consider them not only co-workers, but friends. And this is the real deal. This is where the rubber hits the road. The cases that these individuals make as a group, and the ones that I'm looking forward to in the future, are outstanding cases that are well made, they're well documented, and to the point where it's extremely difficult for us in our office to keep up with the volume and the complexity of the cases that they make. And we are going to try to combine our efforts together with them. I think that, and I know that next week, without saying too much, you will see the benefits and the results of work that not only this newly formed unit that was forming at the time, but also a lot of very hard work by the Baton Rouge Police Department and the new group that they are forming that are somewhat similar to this group to attack gun, drug, group violence. Group violence is at the heart of everything that we see in Baton Rouge. It's the overwhelming majority of cases. And again, as the sheriff indicated, whether it's a group or a gang, when we use the term group, people criticize and say, well, you're just afraid of saying we have gangs. There is a difference between a group and a gang. A gang is highly structured, they're organized, they're in business. They do not want to get caught. They want to do bad things, but make money while doing it. Groups, on the other hand, do bad things, want to make money. However, they have no hierarchy, no structure, which makes them amorphous and even more difficult for these men and women to police and for us to investigate. So there is a difference. The groups are more violent and uncontrolled as compared to a gang. So we use the term gang because that's what the statute has. The statute the sheriff read to you is one that we plan on using more, along with more complicated RICO cases. But with that, we're going to have to find ways to add personnel to the office, add investigatory work. Just the sheer download of cell phones and data that these folks get, body camera footage is overwhelming in one case. And then the cases that these people have made, these are truly lifesavers with the fentanyl they've gotten off the street. We've talked about the murder rate being high, which it is. And although we're high as a murder rate, we are triple that in people that are dying from drug dealers that benefit off of fentanyl and poison that these guys put in jail. But for them, that number would unfortunately be much higher. And so I just want to thank this group. Sheriff, thank you for doing this. I think the key words that I heard was full-time. We have in the past had group and gang activity and intelligence that we put together, but did not seem to be full-time. And I'm not sure how you can really pull this off with being down 75 people or so. The city is down 100 or 115. It's difficult to dedicate this type of manpower to this really big problem, but obviously they will find a way to do it. And I'm sure the Baton Rouge Police Department will find a way to dedicate that. And these two teams working together hopefully will benefit the future in the upcoming future weeks, several weeks. But I do think next week you'll see the result of a joint unit involved with gang or group action in Baton Rouge, and hopefully that will send somewhat of a signal that things are changing and we have to do better at what we're doing. So pleasure. Thank you, Sheriff, for having me.
Thank you. Casey?
We do have time for a few questions if you all have it related to this topic. So, yeah.
Just real quick, just to be clear, is this new unit going to be working in coordination with any other units at BRPD, or is this agency going to be acting on its own?
Yeah, when you look at the information that we're gathering through the intelligence unit, we had an intelligence unit. We've taken a portion of that intelligence unit and assigned it to this. But we still have the other intelligence units. What we want to do, and that's what I've been meeting last week and this week about, is make sure that whatever information we have is being disseminated to the proper divisions, whether it's homicide, whether it's armed robbery and burglary, whether it's just patrol. So we're going to continue doing that. And really this, what we're doing here, our narcotics division has been outstanding for several years now, and Hiller attests to that. I'd put them up against anybody in the state. And what SCAT is doing, we repurposed SCAT, because SCAT was not only a street crime unit, but it was doing a lot of community outreach. We're still going to do community outreach. We're not stopping that. But they've been retasked with doing this, and like I gave you the figures just in the last 3 months that they've done is unbelievable. So it's just bringing all of us together and with a mission statement and a focus of what each piece in this puzzle has to play and how it's going to interact for us to better serve the public and better get out what we want done. So did I answer that?
Yeah, just a quick follow-up question. When I last spoke with the mayor, she tried to put a little bit of the blame as far as these repeat offenders. She tried to put a little bit of the blame on the judicial system where the judges are letting these criminals out on low bail amounts. So I was just wondering if you could respond to that. Do you share that sentiment?
Yeah, I think Hiller and I both can. The whole justice system has to be revitalized, so to speak. I mean, you know, I wish we could get more judges to be more consistent, and we've seen some of that here lately. You know, it's the whole system that has to do their part, no matter where they're at, whether they're in court, whether they're in front of a judge, whether they were dealing with us or dealing with Hiller. And Hiller, I know you might want to expound upon that.
I really, there's not one blame on any particular part of the system. And actually, we call it a system, but you really can't work together to a certain extent because justice is involved. And as you know, when someone's arrested, they're entitled to a bail and a bond. And judges have that difficult job of setting that bond. So we want to do a better job on our side, the police side, the DA side, of notifying the judge, giving the judge as much information as we can before setting the bond, that this is who you're dealing with. Oftentimes we can give certain information, sometimes we can't because it's confidential and we don't want that out. But we try to give the judge as much as we can. We have seen over the past 6 months, 8 months, bonds that have been significantly different than they have in the past. So I think that there's much more of an awareness now for that, but it is an individual case, individual judge, and, but we'll continue to address that on a case-by-case basis.
Anybody else?
Hey, you feel that this is going to help with the high homicide rate?
I certainly hope so. I think the more we address it, because it's all intertwined, the more we're able to address this and bring our resources, all of our resources to bear on this. And with Hiller's people, they're phenomenal as well as what they're doing down there. And as he said, in the next week or two, I think you're going to see a lot of that. He'll show you the fruition of all that. But we're going to continue to work with any and everybody that we need to and that they want to. But what we've done is, like I said earlier, we've just brought together all of these factions and repurposed it to some degree. Narcotics has been rolling on narcotics. They've gotten some wonderful cases, big cases, big dealers. And now we're hitting on some street level dealers as well. But SCAT coming into this and me bringing SCAT in here, we're going to have the personnel we need to make this work, and it's going to. And we all connected with our crime information unit, so all of this can roll together because, like we said earlier, you got a homicide. Well, homicide's involved in that, but it may be totally gang related, group related, whatever you want to say. But it's all intertwines. So we got the whole focus and everybody we need to in our office to do what they have to do. Yes, we are short. We actually short about 85, 90 people right now, and we're doing everything we can to do that. But every division in the sheriff's office is short. But this is one of our most pressing issues right now, and we got to address it as best we can, and we will. And I'm very confident with all the men you see here behind me that this will be done. This will be done, and I think it just enhances all of our intelligence gathering. My position is we're gathering a lot of intelligence from different. Some of it is in reference to gangs. Some of it's in reference to narcotics. Some of it's just reference to criminal activity. Period. But what I want to make sure, and we're doing that, is our intelligence unit is working together and making absolutely sure that every component in the sheriff's office gets the information they need to investigate or try to prevent crime.
So, Mike, if I could, on the homicide rates, surely for the first 3 months, they're out of whack with others. We've seen that before, so the hope is that efforts like this will help. But in order to stop or decrease the homicide rate, I need a few things. The main thing is it's the non-fatal shootings. It's the ones that shots fired, people get hurt. That leads to the next homicide. When he's down 85 and the city's down 115, if you can't, with a whole lot of robust energy, follow up on the non-fatal shooting that happens today, that'll be the murder tomorrow. When you have to pull people away and you're that short, it's hard to follow up on the non-fatals. And that's where you lead to the homicide decrease, when you have that intelligence that they're now getting, which is actionable intelligence, they can move on right away. And that's where we really need to focus. The other to me is the community has to eventually get tired and say enough's enough. It's every killing, not just pick one. It's that this has to stop. You have to call people out. We can't be shooting in my neighborhood. And it's the neighborhoods that are most affected that we need the most voice from, because they're the ones that are hurt. But I really think telltale is non-fatal shootings. And without proper manpower and money and effort by the government to these groups and these people, we're going to still continue seeing that cycle.
I think we have time for one more question. Do you have a question?
How big of a problem are gangs in East Baton Rouge, and how is that affecting the parish?
Well, I think just what we've been talking about and what y'all report on just about every day. There's a shooting occurred or killing that's occurred every week. Every day we're getting shots fired somewhere. It's just luckily that somebody hadn't been hit or shot. But I think those things there it's all intertwined. And I mean, that's the way we have to address it as best we can, is what we're talking about today. But did I answer your question? Thank you.
We have one more, I'll take it back.
And with this new unit, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a big challenge with us, because these men behind us, they know what's going on. They know the people that's doing it. They know the areas in which it's occurring, and so forth. Time-wise, a shooting can occur anytime, anywhere in this parish, anywhere. And y'all know that. I mean, y'all been on the scenes before. But I think bringing it all together and meshing it together, where they're working together daily with each other, working with our other components, ICIU, everybody working together, we're gonna see some more benefit from this. We are already seeing the benefits of it. Like I say, narcotics has been doing this for years, and they've just gotten better and better and better over the years. But SCAT, we repurposing SCAT and bringing them in as a component to this, it's already paid off tremendous dividends, and it's going to continue to be more. I look for this what we're doing now, and really setting sail on it and putting all the pieces together and putting the people that we need to make it operate and be proficient as it has been with individuals. I think that it's going to make all the difference in the world. I hope, I know, I don't hope, our stats are going to go up as to what we arrest and everything else, that encompasses all their hard work. But hopefully, at the end of the day, we can try to reduce homicides. I'm not a big stat guy. A stat tells me and it tells them where have we been and where are we going. But really the biggest statistic that I'm worried about is this: public perception. And it doesn't matter where you want to throw stats out. The public perception overall in this parish, and especially in the blighted communities, the more crime-ridden communities, people are scared. They're scared, but it's not just them. It's all over the parish. People living in more affluent areas are scared. And people's perception is their reality. And that's what we're dealing with, and that's what we want to deal with. Yeah, the stats are impressive, and they show us where we've been, and it shows us where we're going to go, and tells us what we've done. But until we can get this parish where the majority of the people here feel safe, then we're going to continue regardless. But that's a goal. That's a goal I'd like to see, because the impression that a lot of people have is we're not safe. And I can't sit here and argue with the public when every day somebody's getting shot at or shot or killed or stabbed. I can't do it. And it's happening all over the parish. It's not just one. Now, the majority of it is inside the city limits, but it's everywhere. It happens everywhere. Not just Baton Rouge, not just East Baton Rouge Parish. Look around us. The surrounding parishes, they're having their problems too. And but we're here, and we're going to work with any agency we can, and we'll be glad to work with them. And you're going to see fruition, like Hiller said, and I spoke a minute ago about, in the very near future, you're going to see some of these things that's already being done between agencies. And it's not just local agencies, it's state and federal agencies as well. You're going to see the fruits of their labor from that, and that's only the beginning. With Hiller and his people, and he's talked about how short we are and how short Baton Rouge City is, but he's terribly short in his office. He needs more prosecutors. He needs more investigators. But we have to work around all of that, because I don't see anything really changing drastically on that. We hope to be hiring more people. We interview a lot of people, some of them just not qualified, but we're actively out there trying to find individuals that want to come to work here and try to make our process streamlined enough so it happens in a timely fashion. But
that's it. We appreciate y'all coming.
yeah, thank y'all for coming. Yeah, let's take
I want to get the other guys at Q,
Hmm?
be up here later on. Get them.
Oh,
Guys
yeah.
at QP enough.
Yeah.